Good morning. Oh, look at me. I'm all but not even straightened out before I came on. I'm all unstraightened, all kerfuffled. Kerfuffle, that's a good word. Yeah. So welcome everybody. And thank you for joining me today. Wow, besides being kerfuffled, I'm here. I learned a new acronym and it's called Um, Fat Woo, Fat Woo, Fat Woo, Fat Woo, FATWO. And it means, what does it mean now? It's my old age. Um, it means, oh my God, I can't remember. But, anyways, we're going to just bypass that because I can't remember what it means. But I know it has the word fuck in it. Oh, but like fucking, oh, what is it? Like fuck the way out or something. Something like that. Anyways, I wrote it down, but I didn't write down the meaning. I'm gonna find what the meaning is. But anyways, that's my kerfuffle today. We have a 3/4 square moon today. The moon is in Gemini. Woohoo! Um, and we are heading towards a new moon, and the new moon will be here in 8 days. And this new moon is sort of, I mean, it's going to be a moon in Virgo, but I feel like it's trying to get us back, like trying to get us sort of back on course. And we're coming off this square with it's the first of 3 squares with Jupiter and Saturn. And I feel like this is like it's a positive thing. We're getting off of it. We're getting a little bit of more courage and self, heading towards a positive um road, even though something negative can come in on the road, definitely, but this is how we are going to be handling it and not getting so kerfuffled in it all. And this is also, how to approach new ways, how to approach new um things, as things are expanding on our horizon, as the world is topsy turvy and all over the place. This is where Mars is going over the place. It started to go retrograde in 2022 in Halloween in Gemini. We're starting to sort of get a scene, get an idea of the projection of where we want to go. And even though we have, like, there's this beautiful Venus trining uh Uranus, and that's nice. And there's, this is just happening before there's that Neptune opposition. Things are moving. I mean, there is, I'm not going to deny there is a lot of heaviness out there. There's a lot of cray cray out there. But there is this movement of saying, okay, let's get through this. I mean, we're on water restrictions again here in Alberta, or here in Calgary, which is kind of, there's another leak. As if we didn't suspect that. But that's the whole thing, and I'm kind of like, because Neptune is retrograde, there's going to be a lot more leaks. But this is, we're seeing, and as I said, you're going to see the evil and the corruption. It's going to be right before our eyes. I mean, I could take our mayor. Our mayor was just in the Netherlands, and she got a job working for this environmental world environment something. And she's going to be like, this is a woman who can't even handle her own city, who's mucked up so much within within the city of Calgary that Yeah, and she earns more than the premier. I mean, her um my little rant here. She earns like I think $213,000 a year as mayor in Calgary. And now she's going to be making, I think she's applied for some kind of job in the Netherlands, which is over 100 and some odd $1,000 a year on top of her money she's making as a mayor. So I find that so, you know, the corruption, um the erosion is there, and we're going to be like witnessing it even more. And this is where it's like, okay, I see that. I can I do anything about it? No, I can't do a thing about it. But what I can do is how I am going to focus on what I need to focus on. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I was just listening to the Economic Ninja, and he was just talking about how China is inflating the price of silver. Like they're buying up silver. People are sending silver over to China, similar to what they were doing with gold. And of course, China's saying, no, I'm not buying any silver, blah, blah, blah. If you can, and I do, I was gifted, I was blessed, and I was gifted with a 1 ounce silver coin, and I cherish this. This is like a blessing. This is like I'm really rich. I got a real silver coin here. And the thing is that when you look at pure metals, when you look at anything like, you pick up a crystal, you feel the vibration of the crystal, right? Like you've all gone into rock stores, you've all gone into crystal stores, and when you find that crystal and you just pick it up and you're just like, ooh, ooh. Same thing with silver or gold. When you pick up like a pure gold, something that's pure gold or pure silver, there's a vibration to it. You can feel that sort of essence. And if you're able to, like, if you can get any dimes or metals before 1964, they have silver in them. So if you can get anything before 1964, now just a dime is worth about $3, and start putting that towards your investment. And it just helps with your assets. It helps with, and people say, well, what am I going to do with it? That's a good question. For me, it's a backup plan in case something happens. If you acquire enough of it, you can sell it off. Because it's always going to be something that people will buy, right? So anything, because it's tangible. People will buy this, whether it's like $25, $30, $100, people will buy it. And then you have something to go out and, if you have to utilize it, whatever. But that's the whole thing. That's the reason for having assets like gold and silver. It's because it's tangible. And we're heading into a place where we'll need some tangible um, money. Like, who would have thought a dime from 64 is worth $3 US? It's a dime. It's a dime, right? So these are the things, is just sort of allowing for you to create the abundance, and the abundance of that energy is within the frequencies right now. The frequencies are showing you, it's like, okay, maybe I can't do a hell of a lot, but I can start creating my abundance now. And just taking that energy, and just like you would a crystal, like, and holding a crystal, you could take that abundance of that silver dollar, that silver dime. And even if you find, there's a special name for it, the RCMP quarters, they have a fraction of silver in them as well. So you could take that and just hold it, hold it into your hand, and just allow. And it's like, almost like I'm bringing forth the abundance into my life. I'm open to the opportunity of abundance to come into my life. Dear God, show me how. Asking the divine to show you, asking the divine to guide you, in assisting you in bringing forth that abundance. And ideas will come in. Now, it sounds crazy, and I know you'll probably say, oh, mama, you're off your rocker, but whatever. But this is where you want to do this forward movement. You want to go forward. You want to bring forth. And as you are starting to see so much go crazier out there, which is fine. I mean, it has to go crazy before it gets good. But we might find instead of getting stressful, especially with a three-quarter square moon, right? You can get very stressful and you can get very too narrow-minded. And it's wherever Jupiter and Mars are in your chart, pull up your chart and see where Jupiter and Mars. My Jupiter and Mars are in my 12th house. So this is a really beautiful time of rediscovery, of opening up, of really seeing where I am going, right? Because the 12th house covers things up. Jupiter and Mars being there, it's helping to expand, to open things up. It's ruled by Pisces. It's helping to connect more with my spiritual and my psychic abilities, and come into a connectiveness and rediscover parts that might have been covered up before, and bring in a forward motion with it. So take a look and see what house your Jupiter and Mars are in your chart, and see how that is relating to your own life at this time. And knowing that this is going to help you to feel lighter, to help you to know that you are in a forward motion. This is as we're going through, and even with Pluto going back into Capricorn, this is a reflection of the last 16 years. The last 16 years of our life. Now, however you want to rate it, you can rate it however it was. It could be up and down and all around. I know from 2007 to this, that's when we moved to Calgary. That's when our whole life changed and we came here. And in the 16 years you could see, like, wow, it was pretty chaotic. Shall I say 16 years of chaos, 16 years. If I'm going to rate it on from A plus being fabulous and F being a fail, I might give it a C minus. It was passable. But sometimes this is where, like, even if yours was an A plus, there's something better to gain. And I think Pluto going back into Capricorn in the next week, this is where it's really going to get us to really look at and reevaluate also the last 16 years on what it is that we really need to let go of and move forward on, so that we can look at the positives and move into the positive vibrations of things. So we're not always dealing with the whole hum of the craziness. Now this is energy today. This is really a kickoff to helping you as we are going forward, because we'll have the new moon and then we're going to have a partial lunar eclipse in September. So the full moon is going to be a partial lunar eclipse. And of course, that's going to be that there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be hidden. We're going to have Uranus retrograde. We're going we're going to have, some more really heavier transits coming in September. So September is going to bring in this tumultuous frequencies. And this is where we have here showing us that you don't have to step right into all the muck and the gunk, right? You don't have to get all mucked up with it all. But what you can do is that, oh, okay, I can see a way around the muck. I can see a way around in doing things. Oh, I can buy a $3 dime and I can make myself feel more abundant. The more you feel within that vibration, the more you feel within that abundance, the more you're open to the miracles, and allow the miracles, right? Bring forth the miracles, let go of grievances. I choose miracles, I let go of grievances. I let go of grievances and I choose miracles. Allow yourself to choose the miracles in your life today and let go of the grievances as we go forward. Because we're dealing with a lot and we're letting go of a lot. There's a lot to go with the past and the past situations. And any of my little lovebirds out there looking for love, and if there's somebody from the past coming in, know it's a bear trap. With Venus coming to the end of Virgo, and we have Eros in Libra at 3 degrees, and I think Venus is at 28 degrees, so they're almost conjunct. That could be bringing in a little bit of craziness, past situations. It could be a buildup. So know that, it's a time of letting go of the past, allowing yourself to move into new directions. And if there is somebody from the past that has come in, or somebody that you are wanting to release, this is a releasement time. This is a time of letting go, allowing for that releasement to happen so you can build up better and know that there's going to be better times coming ahead, especially when it comes to relationships and, working with relationships at this time. So it's very mountainous, but I feel like it's like getting to that point when you're on a hike and you're hiking up and you get to this point and you just take a moment and you look around and you're like, wow, this is so fucking awesome. This is so beautiful. And thanking for all that you have. And just taking that moment to breathe and take in that view. Because sometimes we are so, like, our head are down and we're on this hike and the hike is hot and it's like, oh, this is horrible. And we're looking at all the rocks and the stones and the pebbles in our shoe. We don't take a moment to breathe and look at that view, because that view is so fucking awesome. So take a moment and look at the view. Take a moment to really allow yourself to be open to the miracles and let go of the grievances. And the more that we start doing that, especially as things start getting really out of hand and crazy, this is the time for us to really look at, okay, what can I do? Now, on the flip side, I know the railways they're back at work and stuff, and the government was a bit of a dickhead. And I mean, yes, it's good that they're back to work. So we got the railways back to work and things moving, supposedly. But I feel like this is just a time, again, just to double check on some of your, of the things that you have. Things like, with our lovely mayor. And because, when you start doing water shortages, that's when you can start controlling the food. That's when you can start controlling, a lot of people with outdoor gardens and things like that. My neighbor just put in a water barrel. And I think, that's awesome. He was going down to the river because we're not far from the river, and getting the water from the river and, watering his plants that way. So this is really an important time to really start being aware of how things are being restricted. And there's always ways around it. Honestly, there's ways around it. There's always ways to work so that you are able to create that abundance or create that of what you want. So, restrictions where they're saying, no, don't do this. Allow yourself to find the ways that you need to find around it so that you can move forward in your life. So there you go. So sending you guys out so much love. This week I have physio on Friday. So physio is coming up on Friday. Sunday, I have your moon readings will be coming out on Sunday. And if you are wanting to book a reading this week, I am taking readings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you are wanting to get your chart done, and my prices for my charts and my readings are going up in September. So they'll be going from $180 to $200. So if you are wanting to get in and get a reading now before the prices go up, definitely do that. Book in. And I want to send you out such a blessing. So may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all you do. Have a blessed day. And look for the positives in your life. I mean, that's very important. So you don't get stuck in the craziness and the humdrum of the day. Bye-bye.